Hi there, friends. Mrs. Caulfield here, ready to read you Chapter 6 of Junie B. Jones' First Grader at Last. Chapter 6 is called The E-Games. I sat in a chair next to Mrs. Weller's desk, and she asked me lots of questions. First, she asked me how I liked my summer vacation, and then she asked me how I liked first grade and how I liked Mr. Scary. That is all stall talk, I believe. Finally, Mrs. Weller stood up. Have you noticed the eye charts I have hanging on the wall, Junie B? She asked. She pointed to them. Eye charts are posters that help us test our eyesight, she explained. I have two different kinds. See? One has the alphabet letters on it, and the other one next to it has filled with funny E's. That one is called the E chart. I looked at that funny thing. Whoa, I said. Those are the craziest E's I've ever seen. They are backwards and forwards and upside down. You are right, said Mrs. Weller. The E's are all mixed up, aren't they? And today you and I are going to play a game, and it is called Mixed Up E's. What do you think? After that, Mrs. Weller got a little paper cup and she showed me how to hold it over one of my eyes. We are going to be testing each of your eyes separately, I said. While one eye is hiding under the cup, the other eye will be playing the game. Okay? I shrugged my shoulders because what choice did I really have with this matter? Mrs. Weller showed me where to stand to play the game, and then she went back to the E chart. All right, she said. Now, each time I point to one of the E's, I want you to tell me which direction it is facing. Are you ready, Junie B? I shrugged it again. Then I hid one eye under the cup, and Mrs. Weller pointed to the first E. I pointed my finger up. That one was facing to the ceiling, I told her. Good, she said. Excellent. I felt a little bit better inside. Mrs. Weller pointed to the next E. And I turned my finger towards the floor. That one is facing down, I told her. Mrs. Weller smiled and nodded, and I stood taller because this wasn't as bad as I thought. After that, the nurse kept on pointing and more E's, and I kept on telling her which way they were facing, right, left, down, left, up. I stopped and grinned. Hey, what do you know? I said, I'm a breeze at this game right now, Mrs. Weller, right? Mrs. Weller winked at me. We're almost done. Only a few more E's to go. She pointed to a new row. There was a fuzzy smudgy next to her finger. Whoops, I said, what happened there? Did someone spill something on your chart? Mrs. Weller did a little frown, and she kept pointing at the smudgy. Can you tell me anything about that mark at all, Junie B? She asked. Yes, I said, it is a smear ball. Mrs. Weller moved her finger over a little bit. What about the mark here? Can you tell me anything about this one? I stared at that thing. That one's a toughie, I said. Finally, Mrs. Weller came over to me. That's fine. You did just fine, Junie B, she said. After that, we played the same game with my other eye, and guess what? I saw 3 more smudges and a smeary. After I was done, I sat down in the chair again, and Mrs. Weller said I needed glasses. I do not like Mrs. Wheeler. And that was Chapter 6. Chapter 7 is called Good Guessing. Until then, take good care.